So today, Stacey Abrams announced the end of her gubernatorial campaign, giving the election over to Brian Kemp. And I'm going to explain why it was completely misguided to do that. So, first and foremost, I understand the pressure of a public figure wanting to run for office or feeling that they've had the office taken from them, and then being called a sore loser and having all these people say all this stuff about you in response to you not wanting to give in to what was a rigged process with the voter purging that Kemp participated in. That being said, when you allow this to be played out in the way that it's going to be played out, where now you've conceded and now they can say, okay, we'll just scrap all of this and make him the governor, you run into a scenario where you authorize, even though it's reluctant, obviously, people to do this in the future. You have to understand a lot of people who are on the Republican side, they're saying that she was just upset because she didn't win, have only now attached this idea of Democrats becoming accusatory toward Republicans when they lose this election cycle after Trump said something. So it's less so legitimate arguments against her claims, which have been verified by the voter purging that was confirmed, but more so people wanting to play into whatever Trump was spinning. So I'm getting flashbacks of Bush versus Gore, where he conceded, and then that history turned out the way it did, because we're living in an era where people are rushing and trying to go out of their way to push for someone to concede or get out of a race or quit or throw in the towel, because they know in their heart of hearts that the person who is opposed to their candidate probably has a case that can be made and can probably resonate with some people as to why that person cheated, and so now or did something that was similar to fraud, and they would want to mask that person. So if it's truly a democratic tactic to claim that these elections are rigged, why did it only start this cycle? Why didn't they? We had Jimmy Carter's grandson run last time. Why didn't they say that was rigged? Why didn't they say it the time before that? The reality is Kemp, in his unique capacity as Secretary of State overseeing the votes, decided to use his position to influence the results of the election. And now people who otherwise would just kind of accept whether one party, one or the other, are trying on the Republican side to pretend as though that wasn't the case, that it was just regular people running for office, and one of them didn't have control over who could and couldn't vote. So she'll probably run again, if not for governor, then something else. You even had Trump put that out in his statement earlier today. But it's a sad process that we have these people who run for office, and when they do, it's not up to the candidate to decide whether they're going to get a certain number of votes. You're going to now face people who go out of their way to make sure smaller numbers of individuals turn out so that they have a chance of winning. And you're going to have people who have nothing to gain, like these Trump supporters, like the Kemp supporters, like any of the Republican backers, who by virtue of not liking Democrats will accept whatever fraudulent thing is done by a member of their party.